All right, welcome to the bottom of the rabbit hole. We are live right now from Matrix University. Let me go ahead and tweet this out to the Twitter Matrix. Let everyone know that we're here. Vesuvius, say hello to that classmate. Wait, Matrix Spider-Man, I see you in here. Shout out to Matrix Spider-Man.
Yeah, welcome. Back-to-back episodes here on NeoMatrixology.
Well, yeah, I didn't want to wait because, I feel like the World of Geekdom video that he posted today, him discussing potential spoilers, answered some of the questions that we had just last night. So it seemed like the right time. And then there's the NFT fiasco that's going on right now. That's been going on all day. So we're going to get into that. In fact, we should probably lead with that just because that's happening in real time. But
Yeah.
make sure you like the stream on your way in. And let's get going. So as you know, or as you should know if you were joining us last night, that the nifty NFTs launched today at 1 p.m.
Yeah, so 1 p.m. or 1:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and they opened up like a waiting room on their website at 12:30. And then at 1 o'clock, you got randomly assigned a spot, and then, or I guess like a number or an order, and then you could purchase in that order. But it's been nothing but a fiasco since 1 o'clock.
Well, I actually have my queue window up. I'll see if I can share it here. Let me refresh it so the numbers are fresh. I see somebody in the chat says that they are, what's that, Free for All 9 says that they're 8,578 away from getting the NFTs.
Yeah, I'm about double that from getting my opportunity to buy.
Yeah, and I'm behind you. I'm number 76,000. So there are 49,000 users ahead of me in line right now. In fact, I'll just share it on the screen.
It's crazy. It's a crazy good turnout for some Matrix Digital fungibles, I guess. I don't know. This is my first experience with NFTs.
Well, that's the thing. It's it looks like it's Nifty's first experience with NFTs, but there's a lot of people who it's their first experience with NFTs. It's definitely mine. I mean, that's the thing. This is probably the most commercial NFT launch to date. Oh no, well, then Spider-Man had something with AMC, right?
I have no idea.
I believe that there's where's Matrix Spider-Man? Is there a Spider-Man NFT that's already available, or is that not launched yet? I think I saw AMC say something about a Spider-Man NFT. But the point being, there aren't many popular or franchises that are this popular with NFT launches. So, it didn't surprise anybody that they got flooded the way they did. But it's been a crazy day. At least it's moving. The line is moving again. It's not paused. They paused the queue whenever they've got an issue to correct on their end. So most of the day, the line wasn't even moving. I mean, we've been sitting in queue and looking at the same numbers. There, it just moved. So it's definitely not paused right now, which is good. But a couple of things. I know when I first jumped in there, they said that people could buy up to 25 NFTs, and that when your turn came up, you only had 10 minutes to purchase. But since they had some delays on their end, now you have 60 minutes to purchase once your number's called. And they brought the limit down from 25 NFTs per person to 5. NFTs per person. But even at 5, I mean, that's what I was saying. I mean, if I'm number 76,000, I wouldn't be surprised if this line is closed at around 50,000. Depending on how many people are buying more than one. I get it that not everybody's buying more than one, but there are people who are going to buy multiples. So you got to factor that in. So I would imagine that if they only printed or minted, however you want to word that, 100,000 Matrix NFTs, I got to imagine that they're going to run out before we get to the person that's 100,000 in the queue. So will be interesting to see how this plays out. And then, like I said, at this rate, I'll probably be asleep when my number's called, but we will see.
Well, I'm going to try and stay up. I think a lot of people are going to drop out as the hours go on, so I'm hoping the line accelerates. But
I
at
definitely saw
$50,
people talking about that they quit because this isn't what they thought. With them, some people had waited in the queue. Like you said, the queue opened at 12:30, but once 101 hit, it wasn't first come first serve until 101. So the people that were in the queue for that first 31 minutes, basically got randomly assigned a number. At least that's how it seems on our end. I'm Nifty could clarify that, I guess, but it looked like once the floodgate opened, the people who were already waiting in the waiting room just got assigned a random number. And, I'd hope that most of them got served already, but I don't know. I don't know. Wait, didn't Metalogic say he was in there before one?
I believe so, and I think he's close to my number. I think we're actually awfully close.
Yeah,
But
no,
I
he's
don't
still
know that
waiting.
he's had. Yeah.
He's definitely still waiting.
Well,
Now I know for me, if you guys got in the queue in the waiting room, I didn't jump on until I want to say maybe 120. So, within 15 minutes.
okay.
This
Yeah,
thing,
I was in
the
very
line blew
close.
up.
I was in very close to 12:30, and it took me a little bit to, I don't know, get in into the waiting room. Like there was whatever the first step was. I can't remember what it was, but it took me like two loads to like figure out like, oh, it says now you are in line. Excuse me. So it says like now you are in line, and it was okay. This will start at 101, and it hasn't really moved all that much since then.
Yeah, they've been like I said, they've been pausing to help streamline this. I will say that the first time they paused it and restarted it, it looked like it started moving a lot faster. But then it wasn't long before they paused it again. And that second or third pause is the one that was like most of the day. It's just been paused. So
Well, I'm going to keep. What's that?
No, I was gonna say Happy Star said, so what did I miss? What's the leaks? We're gonna get to that. Wanted to let some people pile on in here, but yeah, for those who are avoiding spoilers, this is probably not the video or live stream you want to watch. Again, all of that is telephone game. Although I think sometimes I suspect if Geekdom is like, asking for a friend, like if he says his friend saw it just so he's not liable for any potential broken non-disclosure agreements. But again, either way, it's hearsay from where we're sitting. Neither one of us has seen the film, so we're not vouching for any of the information. But what I will say is that prior to the Matrix Resurrections leaks, multiple people who follow this channel told me that World of Geekdom's track record was pretty good. And so far, with the Matrix Resurrection stuff, I wouldn't say that his stuff is inaccurate. I think there are situations where you kind of have to decode or decipher what he's trying to say versus what we're actually going to see. But we'll get into that later on. Q for what's happening? What's happening is the NFTs launched. The Matrix NFTs launched today. So that's what you see on the screen right now. We're gonna, move past that. But Yeah, let's get into. Well, is there anything else you wanted to say about the Matrix NFTs? I know, um, like you're ahead of me, so I think you got a better shot of getting one. And people keep saying, "Oh, well, you're gonna get one anyway," and I hope that's the case. I do hope that that tweet was legit, and I just haven't been given any further instructions from Nifty, so that's why I'm just kind of like, okay, we'll see. I do hope that they follow through though. But yeah, is there any other NFT info you wanted to discuss or mention?
Well, I don't think I have very much more information. I'm just very hopeful that I will be able to get one, and I'll be heartbroken if I do not.
uh yeah, no, I'm loving the code in the background now. That's pretty cool that they've got like the reverse code in the video for waiting while we wait. In the background
Did you
here.
see some? Did you see somebody ripped it and shared it on Discord?
I did. um
I got that downloaded.
oh, shout out to Randy. He tagged us in some TV spots that we're going to show here in a little bit. And shout out to Alias Trinity, who joined us in last night's live stream. If you missed that, definitely go check out the playback. She shared her Canadian wild goose chase for glitches in major Canadian cities. So that was fun, sharing the waypoints and stuff that I know most people that weren't in Canada to participate in that promo probably didn't even know was happening. So it was very fun to share that, and we appreciate you jumping into the lecture hall.
She was a good guest.
Yeah, once you get the avatar, what can you use it on? I don't really know. Honestly, I don't know the details of its functionalities, other than at some point, what is that, December 16th, picking a red pill or blue pill, and there's supposed to be interactive things like that for the following year. I'm getting, or I'm hoping to get one as a collectible. If I can get my hands on two, I'll put one back up for resale at some point. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, that is part of this experience. This is my first NFT experience, so I'm seeing where as long as they keep it a limited thing, that the value could potentially increase. It could go either way, but I could definitely see where, because there's only a select few, that they might, have some value over time. Yeah, I agree. He says they should have made more like 250,000. I agree. From a fan perspective, like I said, from the creating value in a new market perspective, the more limited, the more value each individual one will have. So we'll see how it all plays out. Now, before we get into the new images that are in TV spots, because everybody's like, oh, we need a new trailer. I mean, they're dropping images like, every other day, or almost every, it's more like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but either way, we're getting a lot of new images mixed into the stuff we've already seen. So we definitely have stuff to look at today that we didn't have to look at yesterday, which is one of the reasons why we're going back to back tonight. But it's also always fun to hang out with you guys. So I'm glad that Vesuvius was available and that we can do this. So before we get into the different images and relating them to the world of geekdom's leakage and spoilery activity, if you want to call it such, there was an Entertainment Weekly interview with Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss, and they released some official stills. So we've got some like high quality stills to take a look at. And I totally agree, LZ. Like, it seems like every day there's something to talk about. It might not be necessarily new imagery, but the promo stuff is dropping every day. I mean, in an hour and a half, we're talking 3 weeks until the day that the film is released. Now, I haven't seen any times. I'm hoping that, with tomorrow being December, no later than next week, that the movie theaters will start showing times locally. Because I would like to, get a ticket and see it in the theater as well. I want to see it as soon as possible. I have speculated that, just based on other HBO Max premiere times, I'm guessing that it won't be available on HBO Max till 6 p.m. I'd love to be wrong about that. I'd love for it to be a midnight drop, but we haven't, at least I haven't seen any information to tell us, what time it'll be available on HBO Max or in the theaters. So, I'm not expecting any type of midnight release, but either one, midnight release in the theater or midnight release in HBO Max, will have my attention if that is an option. So let me get the screen ready here to share the Entertainment Weekly interview. Well, first, I think I have it. Yeah, I have it here. So here is all right, they've got this little trippy kind of distorted transition between Carrie-Anne Moss and Keanu Reeves still shots here. And the title of the interview article says exclusive: Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss resurrect a 20-year love story with The Matrix 4.0. Now, I believe most of what's talked about in this article is actually in the video version of the interview. So let me see if I have that on standby.
Spoiler alert. I mean, how much do we give away?
I don't think much.
I found it. Okay, so see if you guys can see that. And here we go.
Spoiler alert. I mean, how much do we give away?
I don't think much.
We don't,
We don't.
right?
No,
We don't talk about plot or no, right?
no, we can't.
No, we should.
We shan't. We can't. We
We
shan't.
can't.
We shan't.
We shan't. We shan't.
I've gotten so sophisticated.
You have.
I know.
You've grown.
Yeah, they shan't, they can't, they have signed non-disclosure agreements, but we haven't. So we're gonna get into as much as we can later on. But stay tuned.
I think I realized it when I went to watch it in a regular theater, not at the premiere, with a regular audience. And the excitement during the watching of the film was something I had never felt before in a movie. And a lot of the excitement was towards cool things I was doing. And so it was really surreal for me. When Trinity goes down and does that, people are cheering for her. And I just was like, it was very moving for me. I did not expect that. Yeah, I think that was the first time that I really felt the weight of how people felt about it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was friends. I mean, I think the first time that I felt like, I'll say one version was being at a friend's house, and her and Lily had cut a sizzle reel. And I played it because, we were gone for 8 months, 7 months, 8 months. And so when I came back, they're like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "This is what I've been doing." And so I put in this sizzle reel, which is just highlights of moments. And my friends were like, "What is that?" That was cool. And I was like, yeah.
Now I just noticed, I gotta pause it here. I just noticed because we've got I noticed before the Morpheus chair back there.
Uh-huh.
But is it just me, or is that the Construct TV behind Keanu Reeves?
That is.
Yeah. Which
That certainly is.
And that's gonna make a cameo later on tonight, but I digress.
So that was the first time that I think from the outside world that I kind of had that experience. And once the film opened, I know when Bullet Time started being commercials, that's cinematically something. Is it as big as puberty?
It's pretty life-changing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Life-changing experience.
Puberty and the Matrix.
Okay, so there's the bright light or sunlight look, or the John Tall look. We'll come back to that later too, but this is something we were talking about in a previous live stream, but I didn't have the image ready. But this is just that kind of vanilla sky, saty sky kind of look.
You seem particularly triggered right now. Can you tell me what happened?
I've had dreams that weren't just dreams. Am I crazy?
We don't use that word in here.
Just kind of started with a text and then a phone call. I guess my story about it is it's one of those phone calls where even though you're at home, you stand up. And you're like in your own house. Stand up. And she was just saying that she was thinking about making another film and asked me if I was interested. It's like,
What'd
yes.
you say?
I said yes.
Yeah, same with me. Text, call, standing up, absolutely. I mean, this film with Lana's, the ability that she has to tell this story is beyond my comprehension. It's really incredible. The layers of her artistry in the writing and then, the execution of it all. I think you really go on a journey. It's an experience. Watching the movie is a total experience.
I think we both were struck a little bit by how much humor there was in it. It's throwing down the Matrix gauntlet again, and it's super smart, clever, entertaining, suspenseful, funny.
The way that she was able to bring us back into this is master storytelling. When I read it for the first time, I was with Keanu reading it at a table. Going to that reading, I had no idea how were we going to go back to this world. I fantasized in my mind like 3 different scenarios. I was nowhere close. I would never have guessed in a million years that we would go in this direction and tell the story in this way. In general, when that zone, Lana has a real gift for creating this zone, this creative bubble. And once that bubble, like all the preparation has been laid down, and then she kind of opens this bubble and she calls action, it felt pretty magical.
Yeah, definitely the way that I guess this biggest thing fundamentally was her kind of attraction to natural light, right? It's probably more than attraction.
She loves it.
Yes.
We were spending many days, the ADs would be looking at sunset and sunrise. And
yeah. So I think that and this, she was definitely participating more with the movement of the camera, interested in natural light. Whereas before she would direct and be looking at things through the monitor, now she's standing next to the camera operator and she's moving the camera operator. So that distance from here to there and that to be that kind of filmmaker is extraordinary. It's that distance.
I think she really loves that. And that's what I can really see too. She loves to be right in there. She wants to enjoy every moment of it.
Now, we talked about the whole natural light thing in a previous live stream, but what they were talking about in terms of the movement, that was one thing I wanted to mention because it came up in the Matrix podcast, just talking about that hallway scene, and we've got some stills of that later that we're going to talk about. But yeah, I'm just curious to know, what specifically, Jessica Henwick was talking about when she said that, there were rigs on set for the Matrix Resurrections that she had never seen in a production before. What is the physical design for those rigs and what kind of camera tricks we're going to see with them? I think, what made me think of that and what they were just talking about is just that, when Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne are talking about, I guess, the progression or the change over time from Lana as a director in her eye, and how, previously in the previous sequels, she was always standing next to the monitor. And, now she's right next to the camera operator. And, that, it's funny because, when I was shooting Beyond the Glitch, in the summer, like I said, I got lucky with the outdoor stuff because, you know, I didn't have to fight with the sun. But there was a part of me that was like, man, I wish that, you know, I had a monitor set up. Like at one point I had planned on it and then I decided against it. It was just one more thing we would have had to lug around and deal with. So then hearing them talk about it, you know what I mean? I was forced to kind of, you know, stand next to the cinematographer and be in that position just by default of not having a budget. But you know, so it's cool to hear them say that, you know, that's her approach now. It makes me feel better about not doing it, you know, not being glued to the monitor. I do understand it though. Like the whole point of looking at the monitor is you want to see what the audience is going to see. But I think that you know, what they're talking about is focusing less on that. You know, post will deal with that, and her being focused on, you know, having the actors, like she said, in that zone, and more importantly, Lana being physically present in that zone with them as a creator. It's kind of hard to articulate, you know, that part of, I guess, being a director. But yeah, no, I'm very excited to see that energy captured on film because they seem to be really excited to tell us about it, and I think that's a good sign.
And you really feel that.
And more interested in doing than rehearsing. So more, you know, we didn't rehearse as much, and then just kind of do
takes.
it. Yeah, long
Just camera
takes.
running, and going back, and she's throwing things to us in the middle of the world. And it was as if she was completely another part of the dance. And there was a lot of freedom in that as well. At least I felt quite free with that style of shooting.
Lana's a passionate filmmaker and so knowledgeable and inventive and brave, and you know, that filmmaker developed another kind of style to her, how to realize her vision.
Now, real quick, because they mentioned long takes, and I know that was something else Jessica Henwick mentioned. So for me right now, it also sounds like they're describing Lana's approach being more like the way that the Wachowskis approached Bound, just in terms of you know, like you said, less rehearsed and more just adjusting in real time. Which there are pros and cons, but I definitely like the way Bound came out. And honestly, referring to that Bill Pope interview again, the original Matrix was closer to the way they shot Bound because Bill Pope was a cinematographer for Bound as well. And you know, he mentioned that you know, the original Matrix had more of that Bound flavored approach, whereas the sequels was like multiple takes and takes over and over and over again. And that by Revolutions that kind of wore on the crew, cast and crew actually. Not only did they not shoot this back to back with a sequel, but you know, also in the middle of shooting the Matrix Resurrections, there was the pandemic, so they got like a break anyway. You know, so when they went to Berlin, you know, it was almost like you know, like they had a little a mini buy or a mini vacation in between San Francisco and Berlin. So yeah, I'm hoping that you know, it's not improv. I mean, they had lines, you know, but you know, just that kind of on the fly, um, like I said, being in the zone, being present in the moment and not worn down by multiple takes. I mean, I'm the type of person where I always say, you know, for post, you want to have like at least 3 takes, but by the 3rd take, if you're working with professionals, you probably got it. You know, you probably don't need 30. But yeah, I would love to be on set to see how it all played out.
It was just, how did she paint? You know, and maybe in the beginning it was more structuralist, and this was more abstract expression, but still kind of maybe still creating a similar form.
After all these years, to be going back to where it all started. Back to the Matrix.
Okay, have we discussed that line?
I think early on we did.
Because I mean, you know, that's one thing. I mean, so are they not in the Matrix when that conversation is being had?
I think now we can talk spoilers, right?
Sure. Oh yeah. Actually, we can.
Yeah, of course we can. I'm just saying, audience, where we're going to talk some spoilers or possible spoilers.
I'd say potential spoilers.
So we've heard that Neo is either a game developer or an actor. I think what I heard first was game developer, so I'm kind of going with that.
Right, we talked
However,
about the Oculus shot yesterday, right? So he's definitely works with video games, right? Because it's his office.
yeah, and so he created these games called The Matrix, and that's that's the trilogy in the movies universe. But I think the thing that's throwing us off is that we see a shot of the Matrix, like his extraction scene being played in that theater when they are escaping the agents. So it's to me, that line, you're going back to the Matrix, is like he's going to go back to working on a project, which is the Matrix, franchise.
Interesting. Well, because I'm thinking a lot about the constructs, and is Neo in a partitioned construct that is populated to keep him from the main Matrix, so to speak? I don't know. I just think that the wording is very interesting to me there in terms of the tense, and all right, so if they're already sitting in the Matrix and he's coming back to it, where was he before he returned? But there's a little bit more here.
He's in a matrix within the matrix.
Oh, here we go.
Well, again, it's the training up to it that I think I'm the most fond of, because it takes levels of overcoming whatever you need to overcome. And I invested a lot of time in overcoming any fear of jumping off that building. And I remember sitting at the kitchen table with my husband, and he's like, "You really gonna do this? Are you gonna do it?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Really?" And I was like, "Absolutely. I don't know how I'm gonna get there, but I know I'm gonna get there."
So that confirms Ellen Hallman when she discussed that, because her husband, Ellen Hallman's husband, works for 8711, the stunt crew that works on the Matrix, John Wick films. And her husband's was one of the designers for the rig that they use, the safety rig, so that they don't fall off the building and die. But in the interview that Ellen Hallman had, she said, I can't say who, but quote unquote performers actually jumped off the building. It wasn't stunt doubles. So what we saw in the San Francisco leak were stunt doubles testing it. But in the shots we're going to see in the upcoming Matrix Resurrections film is actually Carrie-Anne Moss and Keanu Reeves jumping off the building, which is pretty cool. And I'm glad that everyone was safe and the rigging worked out.
Yeah, that's very crazy. Kudos to them. Yeah. I would not have been able to do it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm pretty sure that Keanu Reeves size check might convince me.
Well, do I get the check? Do I get the check if I die?
No, but your kids do.
All right. Well, now we're talking. Negotiation has begun.
All right. So there's only like a minute and a half left in the interview. Here we go.
And I wouldn't, doing it with him, holding hands to do it, something I'll never forget.
Yeah, it's fun.
It was really fun. I don't have the kind of, skill set that Keanu has. Keanu's has a masterful understanding of action. And I've seen him grow, in the last 20 years. His way of doing it is, I'm in awe of it.
Yeah, but you got a flavor.
I'm kind of like, I might hurt somebody by accident, right? So it's better if I'm not fighting him, thank God. They probably wouldn't get insurance.
It's Trinity. It's Carrie-Anne Moss, Roy, Trinity flavor. All the fierceness that, and mind focus and commitment. It's there in the gestures and untamed and wild and controlled, and there's a power to Trinity, and you're Trinity. So it's something to behold. It leaps off the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, is there anything? I know I talked like through half of it, but was there anything that you wanted to bring up from the interview that they talked about?
So since we last paused it, I had a question. He says something like Roy Trent. Did he say Roy Trinity? What was that? What did he say?
I thought he said like, hold on, I'll just rewind it.
Or raw?
Yeah, well, because I think he said raw and flavored,
and wild and controlled, and there's a power to Trinity, and you're Trinity. So it's something to behold. It leaps off the screen.
I don't think I went back far enough.
Like, has a masterful understanding of action. And I've seen him grow, even the last 20 years. His way of doing it is, I'm in awe of it.
Yeah, but you got flavor.
I'm kind of like, I might hurt somebody by accident, right?
She definitely hurt herself by accident in the first one.
Well, I wonder because the way she kind of looked at him and then he laughed, it's almost like she kicked him in the nuts or something in part one.
Well, I don't. Yeah, she said they don't fight each other, so I don't know if there was any behind the scenes training or sparring going on with Wu Ping. But I didn't. So I went back to this part. So I heard flavor. So now we're looking for your raw or Roy or whatever's going on here.
So it's better if I'm fighting. I'm not fighting him, thank God. They probably wouldn't get insurance.
It's Trinity. Carrie-Anne Moss Roy Trinity flavor.
Oh, Carrie-Anne Moss Roy. That's, I believe, her husband's last name. Can somebody correct me on that? Yeah, Red Queen.
Yeah, she's on it.
That's her married last name. We just don't see that because she's, famous actress and keeps her maiden name in the credits.
So now that I think about it, when they were filming Revolutions in the coat check room fight scene, the very final move where she jump kicks that guy who's standing on the ceiling, that guy was hurt from going through the wall. So maybe that's what she was referencing. But yeah, I do remember. I do remember her saying that like she was like really worried because the guy like hurt his back or his neck or something.
Mm. Well, I was referencing the government lobby scene when she rolled her ankle up.
Yeah. And she was afraid she was going to get replaced.
Yeah, no chance, dude.
Not anymore.
But even at that point, they were far enough into production that would have been a lot. All right, so we solved the mysteries of the interview. I guess we move on to the different TV spots. Because like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and mention the World of Geekdom notes that he put out on his video today as we see images that relates to it.
I like that guy. He's funny.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm curious to know if he saw it himself or not. If, he's asking for a friend or if, he really, is going off of the telephone game hearsay of, a associate of his who saw the movie. But yeah, like I said, a bunch of it has checked out already. So yeah, let's go. I don't know that these spots are in any particular order. So I'll just play the first one I see and we'll go from there. Okay, here we go.
Why does this feel like a memory? Like I have been waiting my whole life for you.
Okay. So, is there anything you want to say while I get some pictures together about that? Why does this feel like a memory line? Because we didn't hear that before, correct?
I did hear that, but I also heard some horns in the back. It sounds like the opening scene to, or the opening credits, I should say, to the first 3 movies, where they said that in each movie it went up an octave, or whatever the musical term is. I'm sure our audience will correct me in the comment sections, but it sounds like that opening theme.
Now, what I'm going to say is, so we're opening up with, I believe that's the Simulate scene, right? That she's having this conversation, And one thing that I thought was interesting, if I can find my notes here, right, Geekdom Today said that the Simulate scene is in the 3rd act of the film, which could have been a mistake because, again, he claims that he hasn't seen it and it's going off of hearsay. But we've definitely seen images, Simulate images in the original trailer, and we were also told before that everything that we saw in the official trailer was from the first hour of the film. So the first hour of the film is not the 3rd act. So somebody's wrong.
Yeah, a little inconsistency there, and there was a couple of other smaller things that we'll point out as we go. But yeah, that was a bit of a contradiction. Yeah, I guess we'll see how it turns out. But I'm glad that you remember that as well.
Now, it happened so fast, it's already on like the fade out or the black screen, but I'm going to just pull up the image so people can look at it. And this, because that's the thing, we talked about a different angle of this shot. So that's clearly Carrie-Anne Moss in the real world. I mean, is there any objection to that observation?
No, that looks like her. It looks like some sentinel arms around her arm.
Right. So that would lead me to believe, because we were talking about this last night, now we were looking at a different angle. Let me see if I can find that while we're sitting here. I didn't think of that. I think we just paused it from the other video, but it'll come back up then. But yeah, the shot with the doc bots, because I was basically just pointing out that we couldn't see who that was from that angle or from that lighting or lack thereof in terms of lighting. But clearly, if this is the same scene, it's probably Neo reaching for Trinity in that scene, where I would assume that they have been flushed from their pods. But what Geekdom was saying about this scene was that the light between them, because we would assume that this is taking place in the real world. So anywhere where we saw the, this use of light was probably either in the Matrix or in a construct, right? But this is them, flexing this kind of light glow between them in the real world. I guess lighting wise, it could be, the light of a sentinel or something, and some lens glare, but I don't think so. I think what Geekdom was saying is that, right, what he said specifically is that there's a connection, a power connection between the two of them, and that's what the glowing between their hands is right there.
Yeah, he did a pretty good description of the connection that binds them. And the Matrix Online really explored that. And back when we did the original Matrix 4 podcast, I joked that it was like a midichlorian explanation. It was really descriptive, and it answered all the questions on how Neo had his powers in the real world, and what their connection was actually based on, instead of it just being this mysterious thing called love. It was actually something that was tangible in the Matrix universe.
Real quick shout out to number 7. We see you, appreciate you. Yeah, what I was gonna say is, you know, when he kept trying to find like a word for the description of the connection, I'm like, BIP. I just kept thinking, I'm like, right, you're not going to know to say that. But yeah, I'm getting some strong biological interface program vibes in this Matrix Resurrections promotional push here. So okay, Trinity, at least Trinity says it appears that she is free and she is real. I don't know. It's in terms of the free part, it just the Sentinel activity seems kind of suspect in this scene. I don't know. Like you pointed out, you know, they all have the red eyes. You know, and I think that perhaps the green-eyed observation of Starshore might be some Ramachandra evidence. But in the meantime, let's assume that red-eyed sentinels are just following orders and not necessarily taking a side. You know, the way that they're reaching for each other, you know, I don't know that they're not trying to keep them apart, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's a question mark. All right, we got plenty of this left, so let's finish this trailer here.
Maybe this isn't the story.
Okay, so here we see Bugs and Toby Anwamir, who we have identified as Zeke through subtitles, right?
Yeah, Spanish subtitles.
And on in this picture, because remember before you were talking about that eyepiece, now we can actually see it head on. I do believe I have a, there we go, blown up.
Oh yeah, there's another one that's even higher resolution on Reddit.
I've got another higher resolution one as well. You're talking about from a different scene, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's actually the side of his face. Yeah, we got that picture.
Yeah, and I pulled up a screenshot of an old faction mate with that program launcher, what we used to call a program launcher.
The luggable?
No, it wasn't luggable. This was there were 3 program launchers that you could wear, and it would help like your hacking abilities. Which, if you play any other MMO or video game, that would be like magic or casting spells. But in the Matrix, it was hacking other people's RSIs for damage. So you could put on a single lens program launcher. So I got a good screenshot of it, and I'll be posting that probably right after this.
Yeah, so hold on. I believe the picture that you were referring to was actually in the Entertainment Weekly. Right, this one?
Yes. Oh man, that's a good one.
So yeah, that was in the Entertainment Weekly exclusive that we already showed the video for. But if you read the article as it's posted on their website, they've got a whole bunch of stills. All of them we're going to go through here, but that's one of them. So you can see Zeke's headpiece. Now, what's interesting here is it would appear that he's inside the Matrix wearing his Zion clothes.
It looks that way. I have opinions.
Share what you hiding for. Let's go.
I don't think that he's in the Matrix, and I don't think that they are in the real world. I think they're separate, but this is a stylistic shot, almost like somebody standing in front of a screen that's being projected. And you can see the person, and you can see the projected image, and I think Bugs and Morpheus and Lexi, and who else is that? I think that they are in the Matrix, and he is just placed there for the shot.
Like that's probably Brian J. Smith, whose character we don't know yet. You mean like how you had promo pics of Trinity and Neo on the Neb wearing Matrix clothes?
That's not how I mean it. I mean, if so, we have a shot of them, and they're kind of looking towards us. Bugs and Morpheus, and that's happening in the Matrix. But then we have Zeke here, and he's really in the real world. and he can't see them, and they can't see him, but we can see both of them, and they're both in different realms, the real world and the Matrix.
See, my
Does that
only
make sense?
It makes sense, but my only thing with that is the sunlight's on him.
Is it?
Yeah. If you're look at his I guess that's his left shoulder.
Yeah, you're right.
So
Well,
I mean,
guess
we can't see the back of his neck, so we can't assume that just because he's an operator that he's freeborn. You know what I mean? Like we can't make that assumption. So I'm basically what I'm saying is it's not impossible for an operator to be inside the Matrix. We just haven't seen that up to this point. Now,
yeah, that's true.
What I'm thinking is because we haven't seen that, it's not something that, happens often because you gotta, the operator's supposed to get you out, right? So in an emergency situation, if he's never been in the Matrix before, maybe he didn't have time to set up an RSI, and that's why he looks the way he would look in the real world. That's the only thing or theory that kind of popped in my head when I saw the shot. But again, who knows? I have no idea what's happening right now. So
yeah, it's weird. It's definitely weird.
Free for All 9 says could be a training construct. So that's a good theory as well. Right, now we went on a tangent here, so let me get rid of that and go back to the actual trailer.
Maybe this isn't the story we think it is.
I never believed I was the one. What do you believe?
Now, a lot happened, so let's go back to... So that's your force push. We've seen this shot before, correct?
Yeah, that's a Hadouken.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that that's Groff flying in the air. Where there was a shot of... You know what? I don't have to do this because I have the still shot. Somewhere in there was this shot.
Somebody in the dentist chair?
Yeah, that shot. That's what I'm looking for. I just have to find it. But I have it. Or I thought I had it. Of course, I can't find it now. So let me try to... Can I...
Believed I was the one. What do you believe?
Right there. There you go.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, give me your thoughts while I try to find the high quality version.
Boy. So I think it's Neo in the chair, and it looks like the crew, including Toby Anwamir's Zeke, are around him, and I don't know what's going on with the explosion. Also, it looks a lot brighter than a regular hovercraft. The hovercrafts that we've seen to date. It looks a lot brighter. It doesn't look the same. But the clothing looks similar,
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's why I really wanted the higher quality version, because in that I feel like you can kind of tell like this is probably Bugs, I believe. This is probably Arendira. I mean, in fact, in the high quality version, you can see that that's definitely her.
Does she have blue hair?
Who's that?
Bugs in the real?
Well, we're in the real world, so no. I mean, at least if that's her back's to me, so I don't know for sure. But like I said, with the higher quality version, you can kind of see. I believe that's Brian J. Smith, that's Toby Anwamir, and I don't know who this guy is. I haven't seen him anywhere else. And of course, that would be Neo there. So how or why he broke the hardware is interesting. But I imagine that this takes place after the scene, where the machines have them flushed from the pod. So, I think
So,
Legacy Zero has access to the images I'm looking for.
so did he damage the equipment, or are they getting hit with hostile fire?
If I'm gonna bet blindly, I'll bet that he damaged the equipment. But it's funny that you mentioned that because I watched a fan film, I believe last night, where the ship got hit with some missiles, and it had like a similar internal kind of fire thing going on there. It wasn't on the jacking in equipment, but it looked very similar to that. I think it was called Kedara. I think it was just like a French fanfic from like 2011. But yeah, the special effects were very, very clean in that. I got to add it to the Phantom Matrix playlist on this channel. It definitely is worthy. Let me see if LZ tweeted that yet. I do not see it yet, but I'll keep checking. In the meantime, all right, let's go back. Right, the redirecting of the missile here. So as we know, this is the scene that we were talking about before with them jumping off the building. Now I'm going to go to my geekdom notes here, and right. So he actually confirmed that Trinity can fly, and that what we're seeing in this scene is Trinity flying. Okay, LZ said he tweeted that. Your thoughts on the whole flying part?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was talking about this shot where they're jumping off the roof,
no.
or if it was a different one.
Well, no, he shows another shot, but what I'm saying is,
Yes.
if you remember when they jump off the roof, then she shoots straight up. They're not showing that in this trailer, but it's this scene.
Oh yeah, that I figured, and I figured that they were saving that as the big twist, or the exciting ending, that she's the one to kind of save him and fly.
Hey, LZ, did you tag me in it? I'm still not seeing those images over in the Twitter spheres.
Yeah, and this is that shot that she was talking to her husband about jumping, and she was glad that she did it. Boy, I don't know. I mean, she probably had to do that. Geez, half a dozen times. I don't know.
I don't
Kudos
know.
to them.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they took more than one take, but that's the kind of stuff. It's usually expensive to reset, and they gotta block off streets in San Francisco and all that stuff. That's one of those kind of shots where you take one, you take two, like I said, and if you need three, you take it. But if you feel like you got it, you wrap up and move on. And like I said, what we saw was all the test shots with the stunt doubles. So they were probably very, very prepared. Like that kind of thing. It wouldn't surprise me if they tell you, oh, we got this in one take. It does happen sometimes. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, but you got to have the right expression on your face. you know, you can't be completely petrified and freeze up and everything else. Which, boy, you never know.
But let's keep playing this here. Is that still up? Yeah.
Believed I was the one. What do you believe? I still know Kung Fu.
The Matrix Resurrections, rated R, in theaters and on HBO Max, December 22nd.
Time to fly.
Okay, so real quick here, this shot we were talking about yesterday, which is kind of why I really wanted to get into this tonight. So, Geekdom says that, well, his wording, he said that Bugs gave Neo medicine. So I'm guessing what he means
Tussin.
is that
she gave him the Tussin.
Oh, the Tussin, you bringing it back to Chris Rock? Yeah, no, I'm guessing what he meant was that he took the red pill, perhaps.
I hope so.
Mabes, I don't know. I mean, I'd love for there to be a yellow pill reference in there, but yeah, he specifically used the word medicine, so I don't want to claim that we have any shots of Neo taking the red pill, but I believe that this trailer started with Morpheus saying "time to fly," so it looks like he has been offered the red pill in this film. I would assume that by medicine he means red pill, but we were talking about this, so in the original Matrix film. Now this is, I guess, a more personal observation or thing, but in the original Matrix film, in the scene where Neo takes the red pill and then they go into the other room and all that fun stuff, when he touches the mirror, you got the VFX and it bleeds onto his finger and then his arm turns into the liquid, almost T-1000 looking look, right?
Yeah.
So it was it was great visual effects, but for me, like I said, personally, I wanted the mirror to be the portal. Now we see the doorways as portals and mirrors as portals in this, but the reason for that is because I had done a lot of lucid dreaming, and in the dream space, that's one of the hacks is you can kind of use doors and windows and mirrors as portals and change the scene quickly that way. So yeah, I'm loving this because that's kind of where I wanted that scene to go in the original Matrix film, and I wasn't upset with where it went instead, but I felt like it was there, like that option or that creative liberty was there for the taking, and they didn't take it. So to see Lana take it now is just, like I said, on a personal level, pretty cool. So that's what I think is happening here. I think he is using that mirror as a portal, and if he took the red pill, that would explain how the Nemesine is able to find him in the real world. But let's continue. And there you go, seeing him step through a full-size mirror. All right, what's that? Mount Fuji? Was that something that came up yesterday, right?
Yes, it is.
So that is the mountain in the background there. Okay. I haven't seen this anywhere. Where these swarms of sentinels, or where are they going? Are they attacking the Nemesine? Are they flying through the pods? Those are the pods, right?
I don't think I've slowed that down yet and looked at it.
Yeah, it looks like I believe this here is the space between the two pods that we see Neo leaping across, that we looked at yesterday. So I don't know if they're chasing the Nemesine or where they're headed, but they look very similar to the formation of revolutions when they're attacking Zion.
Maybe they're just honing in on the Neo Trinity wake up, and then they get the Docbots in to I guess work on Trinity. It looked like they were working on Trinity while Neo was fighting the Sentinels. Maybe this is just a precursor to that.
Okay, so we see here, as we mentioned in the Entertainment Weekly interview, one of the props in the background was this TV. This looks to be, I don't know if it's the exact same TV, but it appears to be, a callback to the construct scene where Morpheus is showing Neo the real world for the first time. What's interesting is now it's got kind of like an architect situation where they're showing what's happening in what I believe is supposed to be one of the final action scenes in the film. Actually, he said, yeah, it's got to be towards the end because, he said something about them unlocking each other's powers. So, you see Neo redirecting the missile here, and we know that Trinity's going to end up flying off the side of that building. So, I would imagine that it's towards the end. But did you have any thoughts on the construct? I just know that it's an image that we haven't been shown before.
I think it zooms out a little bit further, and there's another TV side by side. It kind of gives me an architect vibe.
I didn't see another TV in this shot, at least not in this trailer.
Okay, yeah, that might have been another TV spot. I believe I saw two. I can't remember what the image was in the other TV, but it gave me an architect vibe. Another thing that Geekdom said, I think back a while back, was that when they fly off, or when Trinity flies off, that was the final scene. But then he goes on. Well, in this latest video,
no, that's we're gonna get to that. That wasn't the final scene, though.
Yeah. So he says
not
something a
based
little
on
bit
what he
different.
said. Yeah.
Yes, it changes.
Definitely has.
He said that that's the final scene.
Yes. They're in the analyst's office, Neil Patrick Harris's character. I think it's interesting that Neo's holding the cat. I wonder how he picked the cat up. Did he, use the source to pull him over, or did the cat come to him? This is the first time we see a black cat being held.
Well, I mean, the Deja Vu kitty did not look real threatening at any point in the movie. It didn't seem to be an aggressive cat. And in the trailers, it's climbing all over the analyst's desk, so it looks like a friendly kitty. Now, what I was going to say, right, since you're talking about the Geekdom saying that this is the end, he was saying it not with this shot, but in reference to her saying, we're on our way to remake your world.
The Matrix.
So that, the way he explained it, he explained the analyst being the primary villain.
Yes, he did say that.
Now, here's my thing, though, with that. Do you consider the architect the primary villain in the original trilogy?
Oh boy, it's layered. We have Smith, we have the architect, and we have, I guess, the machine entity as represented by Deus Ex Machina. I don't know. I guess it's up to your interpretation. Really, I think Smith is the overall big bad for.
That's where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yes,
this is what I mean. I feel like some of the stuff that is said in the spoiler video, especially if you consider that he claims he hasn't seen it, I feel like some of that stuff is left open to interpretation. Like, okay, you might see him as the bad guy because he's in control of the Matrix at that time, but I might not feel that way.
Yeah, I have questions about his source. Did his source, his friend who actually watched the movie, did he play the Matrix online? Has he seen all of the Animatrix and read the comics? Like, what's
Right.
his understanding? And why would you think that, how can you not describe the connection between Neo and Trinity?
Okay, so I'm checking the DMs now. LZ says he sent the high quality versions of the spots. So we're going to check these out when I get them over to share the screen here. Just give me a second. So I'm just going to do them in order of what he sent.
All right.
You did, and it is. Credit where it's due. All right. Yeah, this is the iSpot TV. This is the high quality one, yeah.
Like I have been waiting my whole life for you. Maybe this isn't the story we think it is.
I never believed I was the one. What do you believe? I still know Kung Fu.
The Matrix
I still know Kung Fu.
Resurrections.
This will not let me rewind, so I'm going to try to pause. Yeah, replay that. Replay that. Because I'm going to try to pause it
Feel like a memory.
in the
Like I have
scene we
been
were
waiting
talking
my whole
about.
life for you. Maybe this isn't the story we think it is.
I never believed I was
Different music.
What do you believe?
Oh, there it is. So you see everybody?
Yeah.
Okay,
Move a
so
little closer here.
I had it
Kabara
backwards.
on the right.
I had it backwards. That's Toby Amamir here, but it's this guy that I've never seen before. But yeah, that's definitely Brian J.
Yeah.
Smith. And I do believe that that's Bugs. So I guess her hair could be blue. You know, it's definitely shaved on that side. And then who's that on the other side of Bugs? I didn't even notice her before. That could be anybody.
Well, boy, who do we have left? Could it be Ellen Holman?
No, she definitely looks like a sister. I'm thinking Thelma Hopkins maybe, or Jada Pinkett Smith maybe. Well, no, that's saying it doesn't look like, because then you say her Jada Pinkett's dreads were like up. I mean, I guess we had that conversation
Yeah.
that you can move dreadlocks around; they're flexible. But yeah, I definitely don't see. Yeah, I'm not seeing somebody we've seen in any other trailers like these two here in the middle. New folks.
Cool. More mystery. So
Okay.
it does look like the machines behind him are sparking. So maybe it's less of a hostile attack and more of he's frying things using his mind.
Right.
But you know, this is a still, and it's a quick shot too. So
Okay. So I don't know if you guys can see here, and shout out to LZ for sending the high quality version. Now Geekdom was talking about the hallway shot, but from other trailers we know that this is Bugs and Morpheus, or Yahya Abdul-Mateen, however you want to word that. But he was using the hallway shot. I believe that comes before they jump out of the window. No pun intended. Right. So what he was saying, I'm going to jump to my Geekdom notes here from the hallway shot, but I'll just talk about it here because he's wearing that outfit. He was saying that, you know, he got a comment in his previous leak video that said, oh, that there's no Agent Morpheus. You don't know what you're talking about. But you can see here, Morpheus is suited up. He's got the glasses on. And I believe he said that he was, you know, because he calls it Codec Morpheus, and that he's an agent. So not that he was created to be an agent necessarily, but in the start of the film, he's an agent anyway. And that Bugs helps him remember that he's Morpheus. So I want to hear your thoughts on that before I get into it.
That's very surprising to me. Originally, I think he said that he created the Morpheus. I'll just call it the simulacrum because that's what we've been calling it since 2006. That Neo created the Morpheus simulacrum, and that he was used as an agent somehow. I mean, this is all very, very new to me. So I really have no idea, like, why Neo would be creating a Morpheus, and then him being used as a simulacrum or as an agent. And then, on top of that, we have, like that Android 3D modeled, that 3D printed body of his in the real world. It's like, this is stranger than anything we've seen before. So I really have a hard time nailing it down.
Yeah, you know what? Let me see if I can just pull that up while we're here on the subject, because that was something that he mentioned. I do have the picture. I know I got this one ready. Right. So this is what you're talking about, right? So this is the shot.
It.
Yeah. So, I feel like, I like the 3D print analogy. When I first saw it, it reminded me of the Deus Ex Machina, but that was like, I guess, one of my things in his video today. Yes, he said said simulacra. He uses the word codec, but that still doesn't explain how this is happening in the real world.
Android bodies.
Right. No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The oligarch storyline from the Matrix Online explains how this is happening in the real world, but as far as like the leak today, I didn't feel like that explained it. So again, none of this is confirmed. But yeah, it's interesting to see what appears to be a real world version of Morpheus. You see the deep blue, which would suggest highly that this is happening in the real world and not the Matrix. And then we had that other shot that we looked at yesterday that appeared to be in Zion, where there was something that didn't seem to, had, like you said, that that oligarch look to it, in terms of it being a not human body in the real world. Real quick, I saw, where you at? Hey, Beverly. Shout out to Miss Beverly. She's in the building. Right. Someone here brought up the bleeding. So, right, Randy. Well, others are saying it too. I saw it. So, is there any other Morpheus agent stuff you wanted to get into before I run it back?
Well, I think it's interesting that just before this, while they're in the hallway, he's wearing Bugs's glasses, the ones that with the strange bar in front of the lenses. So I don't know what that's all about.
I would love for there to be an angle where the glasses are kind of like They Live. That would be just so much crossover beauty that there's not even words to describe. Now this isn't the hallway shot you're talking about, because those look almost like the original Morpheus glasses. They do have full frames, like they're hanging on his ear, not just his the bridge of his nose. But okay, so yes, this is what everybody's saying is Neo bleeding here, I believe, would be what people are talking about.
Oh,
bleeding from his
good
eyes.
catch. Huh. Oh, that's gonna be weird.
Yeah, I think the stuff here is whatever that neck jack connection thing is, because you can see it from the profile and the other shot. But up here, yeah, there's definitely some dark lines that could very well be blood bleeding from the mouth, potentially too. But that's not new. We've seen what the whole, if you get hurt in the Matrix, you get hurt in the real world stuff.
Yeah, well, what if he's fighting Groff there, and
right?
And then we see that big Hadouken at the end, and so maybe this happens in the real world when he goes Nova in the Matrix.
So Marie asks, how is Zeke in the Matrix? I guess you jumped in here after we discussed that. So anybody who's just now joining us or joined us late, please like the stream on your way in. To answer that question, we don't know. He could be in a construct, as Vesuvius theorized. It could be, a projection. It could be just a digital, hologram version of him in the Matrix. If we have, real world bodies for simulacras and so forth. Maybe it's the opposite. Then the other thing I was going to say is it also could be a promo pick, because it
He
was,
could be,
you know what I mean? It was an Entertainment Weekly drop, so
yeah, he could have crafted that RSI, and then with his new headset, that's him interacting.
Right.
Even if he doesn't have the plugs and the cranial jack. I actually thought I made this up back when the Matrix Online was out. It was like, oh, like you could just what's stopping a freeborn person from just creating a simulacra and then just controlling them like a video game and having a digital presence in the Matrix. So maybe that's it.
Yeah, no, and I thought for a moment there, I thought they were going that direction with the right research thing. That's not how it played out, but I guess in real time.
With Mauser?
Yeah, I could have seen them taking that turn,
Yeah, Mauser was a freeborn, I think, operator on the Hammer, and then in the Matrix Online game, he was jacked in, and people pointed out that he can't be jacked in because he's freeborn, and it turns out our developer at the time made a slight mistake, but just actually flipped it and turned it into an interesting plot point moving forward.
Shogun Orta, thank you for the super chat. He says, I think Android Morpheus will show that the real world was much more advanced than anyone knew before machines took it over. Interesting. Do you have any thoughts on that before I go in there?
The only thing I could say about that is, yeah, absolutely. Look at compared to our world, if we really are in the year 2021, that machine war took place. In the Animatrix, we don't know what year that was, but they have machinery and weapons in that we don't have in our timeline. Plus, we've gone through 500 years and almost 600 years of 5 and 6 versions of the Matrix. So, if technology continues along its own timeline, yeah, it's going to be pretty darn advanced by the what year is it in the Matrix in this one? 2800.
Yeah, that'd probably be the century range if you're going off of the 20 to 60 year different theories there. But yeah, so what I was gonna say to this comment is what I'm hoping, when we see the machine fist bump Zeke on what we think is the Nemesine, right? We see the blue Morpheus in the real world. Morpheus in the real world here. I'm hoping that this is going to show or be part of the truce, not just being inside the Matrix, but being a real world truce, and that man and machine are finding ways to coexist and work together. That would, to me, be in the flavor of the ending of the Matrix Online that Rare Bit wrote that we never got.
Yeah, beautiful ending.
Yeah, so if the Matrix 4 kind of picks up where that left off, I'd be very, very, very excited for that. And that perhaps that existence is being threatened, and that's why we're here. We will see. LZ says, put the glasses on. Yeah, I love They Live. I love the epic 35-minute fight scene with Keith David. If anybody wants to watch it, it's on YouTube. It's definitely worth it.
So there was some audio. I thought that I heard the kid screaming Neo.
Remember, the kid, we confirmed that, or I think viewer Anon confirmed that. The kid is credited because of a voiceover. Clayton Watson is not in the Matrix Resurrections, but his voice is. So you probably did hear that. Where did you hear that?
It was at the beginning of one of these TV spots, and I think that
there's so many TV spots at this point.
No, it was one that we just watched.
Okay.
And they were in the train car.
And this is still the first of the high qualities, by the way.
Source push.
The Matrix Resurrections.
All right,
Rated
so let's
R.
go to the second
Theaters
one.
and on HBO Max.
If I can figure out how to make that go away. Yeah. Boom. Okay, here we go.
Time to fly.
Yeah, that was it.
Let me see if I can run that back a little bit. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Right before he goes to the mirror.
Time to fly.
Interesting. I mean, I got people in the chat. LZ says he thinks it was Trinity.
It's because when she yells at to Neo at the end of part 1, it sounds similar, and it does sound like it's slowed down. Either way, whether it's Kid or Trinity, it sounds like it's slowed down, and if it's slowed down, it could be deepened.
I'm gonna run it back one more time. But like I said, we do know that the kid's voice is in the Matrix Resurrection. So
Yeah, definitely asked for that.
The Matrix Resurrections. Rated R. In theaters.
okay, so in this high quality version, I want to run back to the scene we were talking about right here. Okay, so can you make out what that is? That might not be pods at all, actually.
Oh, that's their special.
Oh, the digger.
That's their special pods.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that looks like those special pods. Holy crap! They're sending an army of Sentinels after them. Oh, holy shit! This is so good. This is so good. Yeah, it's got that. It's got that red tint to it.
But what's the light under that? Yeah, so that by itself is kind of crazy. This red tint in the real world, that's new. But what is that bright light down there at the bottom?
Do you know? Because I have no idea.
Well, like I said, it reminded me of the back, the end of the diggers that drilled into Zion. I don't think that that's what we're looking at here, but it is a circle with some fire in the middle. This is how it looks.
Yeah, I really don't know. It certainly could be. I do see some circular. I don't want to say pattern, but I see something circular, and obviously the light is in the middle of that. So it could be the diggers, which means what are they using the diggers for?
Right. Would that be a new Zion reference? Is all the Zion shots that we saw actually new Zion? Are they have they found
they can't they can't drill into New Zion. That's why they chose it. They can't dig.
But would stealing Neo and Trinity be considered a violation of the truce?
Okay, so
even though they can't dig into it, that might not stop them from trying to get as close as possible to get into it if they felt like the truce was violated. They're not just going to sit around and sit on their metal tentacles.
Okay, so we don't actually know the conditions of the truce. Neo only said peace, and then every time the story dictated something to happen, it was, oh, well, this is a condition of the truce. But we didn't know that. We were just being told that. Even the reason that the truce broke, people were, what was it? Oh, Zion was moving supplies and people and ships out of Zion, and then the Cypherites started to investigate why are they moving so much stuff out, And it turns out they pretty much were moving a majority of their stuff to a more fortified city that the machines could not gain access to. It was much more fortified. They couldn't dig, and it was covered with the only entrance was through an EMP infested cavern. And as a matter of fact, they couldn't even fly their hovercrafts in and out. You had to cut the power and do a dead drop. And then when you got clear of those EMPs, you would have to restart them, kind of like what we saw Niobe do in the mechanical tunnels. So there was no way the machines were getting in there. But that... Go ahead.
Finish your thought.
Is that them moving to a new Zion? Is that breaching the truce? I don't think so. I never thought so, but the architect said it was. So
I want to say the machines disagreed with you.
Yeah, but we did not know that ahead of time. So if the humans go and they steal Neo and Trinity, yeah, I could see that as being a breaking condition of the truce, but we don't know that ahead of time. We're told that they're dead. So what's the difference?
Well, Rick says here that that's not the diggers, which I don't think it is. We said it's the pods. What you're looking at is the ceiling. Now, when you invert it and say that that's the ceiling, this could be another situation where all that could simply just be a hole in the ceiling, and that could be more sunlight. You know, I definitely feel like we've seen shots where we're looking at potentially sunlight in the real world. So it does appear that the Sentinels are flying towards it. So they could be flying up, they could be flying down. Like, you know what I mean? They can fly. So either direction.
Yeah. So how are we getting sunlight?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying, man. That's huge if that's what we're seeing. If in this shot, in the shot with the ship, is the dark storm finally breaking down? Did the machines find a way to break through it? Did Neo shut it down? There are different ways that we can. I always felt like, if the machines could figure out how to make human batteries in the Matrix functional, they could probably figure out how to shut down the dark storm if they really, really tried. Just a theory, or a thought, rather.
Well, my theory is Sati is going to do that. I don't know how, but android bodies in the real world gives me a little bit of solace in my theory.
Now, where is the... Okay, right. So alias Trinity says that she's calling it, that's Trinity's cat, and she named it Deja Vu. I believe, didn't somebody already confirm that the cat's name is Deja Vu?
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
I can't remember if it was Geekdom or Viewer Anon or where I'm getting that from, but I feel like through the spoiler grapevine, we've gotten a confirmation on the name. Now, I've been calling it the Deja Vu Kitty since the first Matrix film, so it's definitely the obvious cat name.
Deja vu is usually a glitch in the Matrix.
Or a cute black kitty.
And in the Matrix Online, we had those cats, and they were just called the Glitch Kitty. Glitch in the Matrix.
Huh. Yeah, no, shout out to LZ for sending the high qualities that really changes the game with these trailers here.
Yeah, thank you, Legacy.
Now, I think we did that one. Did we do this one? Oh, we did that one yesterday, right? But that's got the hallway shot and some stuff that we talked about yesterday.
I took every idea, everything.
Right, there's the Oculus.
The Matrix did. You gotta see
Priyanka
it to
Chopra.
I took every idea, every dream.
Okay, so right, this was the shot that Geekdom was saying that you can see that that's quote unquote Agent Morpheus, and I'm pretty sure at the end of that hallway is the window that they jump out of, and we talked about it from that perspective. So that's why I had that one up there. I'm trying to think. All right, this is Brian J. Smith. Yeah, we definitely covered this TV spot yesterday, right? That's the DocBot shot where we can't really see that that's Trinity, but it's probably Trinity. But then, right, because here you can see him, Neo, reaching for her, and then later we see the glowing of their hands in today's TV spot. All right, this is the shot where most people kind of think that's Niobe. I'm not sure, but we're clearly in a Zion-looking place. And maybe that's, simulacra or codec Morpheus materializing over here on the end. I don't know. But we watched that one yesterday. Okay, so this is one. Okay, this is another old one.
Could be this is the first day of the rest of your life. But if you want it, you gotta fight for it.
Yeah, that was real quick. I don't know why I had that one saved. Okay, here's the one that Randy sent us today.
Neo.
Yeah, so we just watched the high quality version of that. Yeah.
The Matrix.
So I think we covered all the TV spots that came out today. Oh man, while we've been talking, let me see where I am in the NFT queue. In fact, you're ahead of me, V.
I'm keeping an eye on it. I am at 46,000, and I still have to wait. Number of users in line ahead of me is 13,000.
That's not bad. I'm still looking at 43K in front of me, almost 44K. So, I got a few more hours left in me, but it's not even halfway through the bar. So I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that I'm probably going to be asleep when this is happening for me, but
Well, what else?
yeah, I don't know that I have anything else. That's oh, actually, you know what? Before let me check my notes before I say that, just to make sure I covered we talked about the medicine, we talked about Agent Morpheus. Oh, okay. I'm glad you said that. So what I forgot, because we did talk about this yesterday. Let me find the picture. There we go. So we talked about this shot yesterday at the beginning of that trailer. And World of Geekdom did state in his analysis or spoiler leak video today that this is a dream sequence.
Yeah, is that the one that we see that that they are in what seems to be a motorcycle garage?
I didn't even notice the background. I was too distracted by her melting.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it's a dream sequence, but I'm getting a lot of information that leads me to think that. So can't really take too much credit for it.
Yeah, shout out to Randy. He says he has a TikTok and Instagram and Facebook Matrix group if you guys would be interested in joining. I know that you've been rubbing elbows with him over on TikTok. I definitely follow Randy on Instagram as well. So yeah, definitely guys give him a follow.
We have a TikTok group on TikTok group. Or are you just saying a TikTok and an Instagram and a Matrix group and a
You know,
Facebook group?
when it comes to TikTok, you're speaking Chinese to me right now. I'm imagining that he's talking about a Facebook group, though.
Facebook group and an Instagram and a TikTok.
Yeah, they are separated by the ands there.
Okay. I need a couple hours of sleep. Just putting that out there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're way ahead of me on the NFT line. So are you pulling the all-nighter?
No, I'm not. I have got some full days ahead of me. So no, I'm not.
Yeah, I can't sign up for that either. But I'm hoping that it works out. I'm hoping that I wake up and there's only 2,000 ahead of me in the queue or something like that.
Isn't TikTok just videos posted? It's not a group, not that I know. Yeah, I don't think there's groups on TikTok. I'm just reading Beverly's comment here.
Yeah, I found it. Yeah, Freefall says that there's only 3,000 ahead. So good luck. I think you're gonna make the cut. Free for all. Excuse me. Oh, Rick says he's got 2 Matrix avatars. So if you already got your 2, are you going to be sharing them on Instagram as far as like the image that you got, or are you just like keeping it completely private and you bought them on the resale tip? I mean, that's what I mean. Like that part of the game, I don't even know like what's proper etiquette or what makes sense. Like, if you plan on reselling it, should you not show it to anyone ever? I mean, it seems like it's a hard sell, right? Okay, Rick says he's going to post them, so look out for that. I know I'm following him on Instagram. Now, do you know more details about the actual rollout since you bought 2? Did they give you like a step-by-step of what they plan to do? We know about the red pill, blue pill selection December 16th, but there's supposed to be other stuff. So did they give you like step-by-step what's going to happen, or is that part of the game a mystery to the rest of us? Do you know any of that stuff, V? Or
I know nothing about this stuff.
Oh. Well, yeah, like I said yesterday, I felt like considering the idea or the concept behind NFT value is theoretically supposed to go up. That's why for me personally, I was like, okay, well, the price point is fair. $50 is not crazy. But in terms of what they have planned for us, I only really know about the red pill, blue pill thing. I don't know details of anything else. Okay, he says missions to add unique weapons and gear to our avatars after we take the red or blue pill. So that's interesting. Blue pills are about to be strapped up here. I mean, I guess you'd have like the guy in his khakis with AR-15. Yeah, no, the Matrix community is uniting. I'm very excited right now. This is a very exciting time. The NFT thing is still a big mystery to us, but there's going to be another point of Matrix fan bonding there. For those of us lucky enough to get in. And Alias says again, everyone, don't forget to like the stream, please, and thank you. Thank you for reminding me to remind everyone. Trying to get more consistent with that. But yeah, the more you like, and more importantly, the more you watch. Watch time is definitely the biggest YouTube metric for anybody who's trying to start their own channel or make their own videos. Likes are important to get reach to people who haven't seen your videos before. But in terms of the YouTube algorithm being your best friend, you want people to watch your videos from start to finish. So if you want to support the channel without tithings, without donations, that's the second best way, is to watch the videos and live streams from beginning to end. We greatly appreciate all your support. Is there anything that you wanted to plug or mention, Vesuvius, while we got everybody here?
Yeah, I would say just follow me on Instagram. I got the daily content. Hopefully, if I get some time, I'd like to do another video before the Matrix Resurrections drops, but I don't know that the closer it gets, the more I'm just not sure I'm going to be able to carve out the time to do that. But follow me on the Instagram and TikTok, Vesuvius MXO on both of those. I'll do daily content on Instagram, and I try and get as many videos as I can over on TikTok.
Yeah, and back to the NFTs, Rick says that the blue pills will still have missions even though they are staying in the Matrix. So I wonder what kind of missions they'll have, like spy missions or like go get your boss coffee missions. There's a lot of possibilities there. Yeah, that's right. You can follow alias Trinity on Twitter. That's Red Queen Trinity on Twitter. Me and Vesuvius are NeoMatrixology and at Vesuvius MXO. And yeah, shout out to Vesuvius and Randy. I know you both have been helping promote the Project Matriculated premiere party event for Beyond the Glitch, which will be in 3 weeks. It is officially Wednesday here. So the Matrix Resurrections and the Beyond the Glitch short film are happening in literally 21 days, which is crazy to think about in my head.
Hey, I've got an ask. I have an ask for the audience. I've got a Facebook event page for Project Matriculated. Maybe I can drop that in the comments, and our people can at least share it on Facebook.
Oh, that would be great. That would be such a huge help, because I am totally like not in the Facebook matrix right now. So if you guys could share that, yeah, please do put that in the chat, and tweet it out. I don't know have you tweeted it yet?
I don't know if I've tweeted that link out, but I'll do that as well.
Yeah, tweet that out. I'll retweet, and we'll try to get people to share that in the Facebook matrix. Get our meta on, because I'm looking forward to partying with some of you guys and the face reveal. Dun dun dun. Right. One of the things that I was gonna say is, because like this is gonna be the only time that the short film is going to be on the big screen. But the sound system in there is, it's like a club. So, it's not a THX or IMAX, but it sounds pretty good in there. I'll just leave it at that. We'll save the lasers and haze machines and snow machines and bubble machines for after, but all that good stuff's there. We're gonna have code streams on the walls and different fun stuff planned. There's actually an arcade and a virtual like a VR machine in the front. That's not like the main room, but like just like at Vibe, because in the front, like basically it's like in the front you have a restaurant, and in the back there's the club space. So Vibe Burger will be open for like most of the night, and that's where like the VR machine and like the arcade stuff is. So it's just a really cool place. I'm like really excited for this. But yeah, I see you shared, this is the Facebook event link.
Correct.
Very cool.
Well, thank you again for having me. I love doing this. Love talking Matrix.
Yeah, and thank you and Randy specifically for all your Project Matriculated help. I am looking forward to partying with you guys in 3 weeks' time. And again, like the stream if you haven't already. If you were late, you can always check the playback. We covered the geekdom spoilers in this live stream, at least our reactions to them, but you can check out his video. You know, he's got a video up on YouTube where he's reviewing a TV spot and talking about how it relates to the spoilers that he leaked. I guess was that like May?
He said like June or July.
It was somewhere summery. So yeah, he's basically, you know, doubling down on what he said before. Like I said, I feel like if you read in between the lines of some of the stuff that, for the most part, most of it's checked out. There's a couple things that we brought up questions here earlier in the live stream, but nothing to feel like he's not a credible source. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about it here, because here at Matrix University, I want you guys to be able to trust the information that you're getting, to be able to go back to the source and check it out for yourself if need be. A lot of the spots that we show are from at Cbaz on Twitter. So he's been posting a lot of the TV spots like every day, it seems. Again, shout out to LZ Legacy Zero for sending that DM with the high quality version of the spots. The what's that? iSpot TV or whatever that was. Yeah. So on that note, class is dismissed.